Good evening, everyone. How are you all doing? So, something that still bothers me to this day is, you know, I wonder if, the friends I was meeting in 2019, if they weren't genuinely my friends, if they were sent by my parents and stepfather and stepsister, and, the whole thing was premeditated to betray me. If it was all one big conspiracy to pharmacologically abuse and traumatize me, uh, you know, obviously, when I graduated from high school in 2005, I didn't have friends. I was running all day long from 2005 to 2011. And then I had a psychotic break, and I was put on a mega regimen of medications from 2011 to 2019. And in a lot of ways, I had no friends, and the friends I was meeting in the mental health community at that time were the first friends of my life. And to think, they were secretly monsters behind their masks and they were betraying me is really devastating. It's really soul crushing, because I thought I genuinely loved them. I thought I genuinely was friendly with them, and you know, um, even if the reality is I was betrayed by everyone. After spending like 15 years in a solitary Joanne Greenberg fantasy land, the first friends I opened up to betrayed me. Even if it's really that bad, I mean, just accept the reality. Like basically after spending like 15 years with no friends, after spending 15 years with no interpersonal relationships, I basically opened up to people, and to think they betrayed me is just heartbreaking. But it seems like that's the reality, and just accept it. Or maybe it's delusional. Maybe they are telling me the truth, which is, it was indeed my choice, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I look at the photographs and social media content, and I mean, it looks as though they were doing the whole Owen Hart thing, like I was a human sacrifice, and it was a conspiracy for revenge with my parents, stepfather, stepsister, and the whole thing was orchestrated and premeditated. I'm like, what the hell was that shit? Like, did anybody care about my mental health recovery? Did anybody care about my goddamn screenplay? Did anybody care about helping me in any way, or were they just going to mental health recovery groups to traumatize a vulnerable mental patient? Was that really what they were doing? And I'm told no, everybody's intentions were good. Everybody's intentions were to help you make a mental health recovery. Everybody's intentions were to help you, not to traumatize you. Nobody intended to hurt you, Andrew. And on the contrary, everybody intended to help you. So try to keep that in mind. Try to keep in mind everybody intended to help you. There was no conspiracy for revenge to torture you and traumatize you and pharmacologically abuse you and scare you. This is just so toggle the emotional switch to off and realize it's delusions. And even if they did it, I mean, they're never going to confess they had nefarious, premeditated intentions to traumatize me. So it's for the best. I just let it go, I guess. You know. It, so all their hidden realities, were my stepsister, cousins, aunts, uncles partying with Lady Gaga, Barack Obama, and whoever else for the past 20 to 25 years. Were they excluding me? Or is this delusional disorder? Is this really all psychosis? Somebody says, Andrew, you have delusional disorder, and that's the reality. The reality is you have delusional disorder, and you know, I don't know. Somebody says it's 3 a.m. in the morning, Andrew, and you've hardly gotten any sleep. Go to bed. Stop crying about things that have taken place over 5 years ago. Stop. I think the thing that hurts the most is thinking, people were genuinely my friend, and they say, Andrew, the only one who's betrayed anyone is you. You were the one who betrayed, your parents, family, and friends. You think there's hidden realities, and you think you are pharmacologically abused. You can't even form relationships with people. You're just accusing everybody of having pharmacologically abused you. You're angry at everyone, and you know, you said they had premeditated intentions to hurt you, and you know, realize that's not so. Realize everybody's intentions were to help me. The Oracle asks me, "Why the fuck are you up?" I'm going to be honest with you. I was looking at social media posts on Instagram, and I was getting recommended some Lady Gaga posts. And I was getting an idea of reference delusions about Lady Gaga, that she was partying with my stepsister, cousins, and so on. And they were all mocking me and laughing at me and bullying me. And I was getting idea of reference delusions about Lady Gaga. So then I took a late night walk, and I was getting angry, and I was getting emotional, and I was like getting angry at my mother, who I thought was gaslighting me and lying to me about for my whole life. And I was basically I was looking at Instagram, and I was getting idea of reference delusions about Lady Gaga, that the whole thing was orchestrated and premeditated, and I was just a puppet. And I don't know, guys. I don't know. That's why I'm up, because in the middle of the night I was looking at Instagram, and I got idea of reference delusions looking at Lady Gaga's posts from 2008. And I got really emotional and really angry and really upset, thinking they were all having the time of their lives and mocking me. And if you want the truth, that's quite frankly the truth. But realize, no rich, famous, or interesting people know of me. I'm a complete unknown, and toggle the emotional switch to off. My mother isn't lying to me. My stepfather isn't lying to me. No, nobody has been referencing me in the pop industry. Taylor Swift, Justin Bieber, Selena Gomez, and so on. None of these people have been referencing me. I wasn't one big humiliation ritual. They didn't, or they weren't humiliating me for 15 years, and they gave me then they pharmacologically abused me. It's just delusions. It's just fucking delusions. Somebody asks, did you and your stepdad ever get along? I don't think so. At least as far back as I can remember, I don't think we did. I remember thinking I really wish I could have a loving relationship with him, because I was living with him, and he made communication impossible. He made living with him was like walking on eggshells. He was miserable, and I wanted to have a loving relationship, but I don't think he wanted to have a loving relationship with me. I think he hated me, and I didn't realize why until recently, when I got advertised the cruise shoes, and it says, "Are you forgetting something? Cheech and Chong's cruise shoes are advertised to me on X, formerly Twitter." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I guess I'm forgetting that the intergender wrestling with my stepsister, who's obviously my stepfather's daughter. And I think he hates me for that. I think he hates me for, you know, the wrestling on the cruise. So I didn't realize that. I didn't even think it was really that big of a deal up until recently. And now I'm realizing, oh, it was a really big deal. They just didn't tell me it was a big deal, and they were keeping it under wraps for like 15 to 20 years or 30 years. And I just didn't even realize. I just didn't realize he hated me. There was a big, drama about it. I just thought it wasn't a big deal. So he says, "Are you sure it's for the intergender wrestling and not that he resents you for living with them still?" I mean, he might resent me for that too, but I think the big issue is obviously the intergender wrestling. I think. I don't know. We don't really communicate. We don't really talk out our thoughts and feelings. And the same is true for my mother. We just don't talk. We just don't communicate. We don't. I get yelled at when I try to communicate. So I mean, I think he resents me. I think he hates me, and I don't know why he hates me. But I guess these are some interesting, ideas. These are some theories why. And I think, obviously Lady Gaga knew my stepsister, and they were partying with my cousins, and they were all scapegoating me and making me out to be a monster. I think the whole monster thing was a reference to me, and the Bad Romance music video was a reference to me, and the HIV scare was premeditated, and they were having the time of their lives. Somebody asks, "Why isn't your brother ever a part of your delusions?" That's a very interesting question. I think it simply boils down to he has no power over me. I see him as a peer, and I know he's suffered with shitty parents too. My mother and father and stepfather. So I think I see my brother as a peer, and I don't see him as a threat to me as having any power over me. So yeah, that's a very interesting point. I never really get delusions about my brother. I see him for, I guess I sympathize with him and I feel badly for him in a way. Yeah, that's really interesting. That's really interesting. I never really get delusions about my brother. I view him as a victim as well. Obviously, he wasn't as much of a victim as me, but I view him as a victim of a shitty household too. How is he doing in life? To be honest with you, I don't have much of a relationship with him. I haven't really seen or talked to him in years. I think he's afraid I'm going to fuck up his career in life, and he wants no relationship with me, which is fine. But I have no animosity towards him. I think he's working a career in computers, and he desires no relationship with me, and I haven't really talked to him in years. I think he thinks my social media posts are going to fuck up his career in life, and he has just no desire to have a relationship. So he wants to distance himself from me for that reason, or maybe it's the intergender wrestling why he wants to distance. I don't know why he wants to distance himself from me, but he just doesn't want any relation to me. He doesn't want any association with me, and there's nothing I can do about it. I've tried reaching out to him. I've tried asking him to go to lunch or dinner, or he doesn't want a relationship with me, and that's just the reality. The only people I really have a relationship with, I mean, I have an art class buddy and a few friends from NAMI, but really the only people I have a relationship with are my mother and father, and all we do is fight and have a hostile dependent relationship. I have no relationships with anybody. I'm just in complete isolation, basically. Somebody says, has he distanced himself from the whole family or just you? To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't communicate with my mother. I don't communicate with my father. He might have distanced himself from the whole family, but then again, maybe he still talks to my mother, and I don't really know. My mother doesn't share that with me. You know. But on that note, it's 3 in the morning. I have the art class tomorrow at 1 p.m. Maybe it's time maybe I should just get some rest. Maybe I should get some rest and go to bed. It's just get some shut eye. you know. But the Oracle says, "Good night, Andrew. Have a good night, the Oracle. Peace out."